Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I hope that my mic volume is up because for the last couple of days, I've been trying to get this right. Having issues with my mic. I'm changing cameras and it's still not loud enough. So hopefully this is loud enough and I'll try to bring the microphone closer to me. I'm going to entitle this video, Get Off the Bad Bandwagon. And what that means is this. I know no two people are the same. We all have different thresholds of acceptance and politely rejecting things that we know that are not good for us. Half of the people out there right now that smoke and been smoking for 10, 20 years, it started with some other knucklehead smoking and they trying to pass it on to you and you want to be cool, so you decided to do it too. Because I'm going to tell you about one of my closest friends who I haven't seen in a while because he's in rehab. And here's why he's in rehab. I met him in grammar school. And we were great friends through high school. After, we went off to school or the military, whatever the case might be for each and every one of us. And how I first met him, he was trying to force me to smoke. I think it was marijuana. Yeah, it was marijuana. Here, try some of this, man. I don't want that shit, man. And part of my expression or my profanity, because I'm trying to cut down on that. And he was like, try this, man. And I was like, I don't want that, man. We almost got into a fist fight because I was like, I'm standing my ground. I don't want this garbage. And actually, I think it was cigarettes at the time. I'm not quite sure which one of it was, but I knew he graduated from cigarettes to marijuana to heavy stuff. And that's why he's in rehab now. 50-some years old and he's in rehab. Some people can foresee the future. It's like, ain't nothing good coming out of smoking this poison stuff. If most of us knew how magnificent the human body is, we probably wouldn't put poison in it deliberately. Now, food is a different thing. They sneak stuff in your food and you don't know that is in there. It's hard to go somewhere and get good, honest, wholesome, organic food. There's always crap in your food, so it's extremely hard to avoid that. And you're not deliberately going to the store and say, "Hey, give me this with all these preservatives or sugar in it." None of us are doing that. So that's a different animal than you putting some to your mouth, or sticking some in your knee, in your arm, or snorting some up your nose. And I'll say this, and there's some people that they're not gonna like what I gotta say and probably never come back to my channel. The people that do cocaine are idiots. The people that shoot shit in their arms are idiots. The people that smoke weed, with the exception of medicinal purposes for glaucoma or something like that, are idiots. All that stuff is chemicals that you're putting in your body that don't belong there and shouldn't be there. Now I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a Bible-toting guy telling you scriptures and I'm like perfect. I'm not, but I'm like, if it don't belong there, it shouldn't be in there. And one might say, well, they legalized it, so it must be good, or it ain't dangerous. No, that's not true. They legalized it because they want to get in on all those billions, if not trillions of dollars that people that were selling it illegally get in on some of that money. The bottom line, that move was about money. It had nothing to do with, we standing up for your rights and you should be able to put poison in your system or smoke weed. That's what that was about. It ain't got nothing to do with, we sticking up for you. It's not dangerous to your health, because marijuana has been proven to destroy and damage brain cells, and you don't get it back. Okay, so we all need to get off that bad bandwagon because everybody else is doing it. Therefore, it's okay to do it, and in most cases, it's not. It's just the majority of people got on the wagon because they're idiots. And again, there are going to be some people that is going to despise this video because it's like, man, who are you to tell me? I don't care about them people because apparently they don't care about themselves, because if they did, they would not voluntarily put crap in their system. Because again, the human body is just a magnificent piece of machinery. When it gets injured, it tries to heal itself. When something comes into its system, pathogens that shouldn't be there, I believe it's the white blood cells to protect your body from all of these foreign toxic things that you might just take up, somewhere in a toxic area, breathing it or whatever, and end up in your food. So I learned a long time ago to appreciate this, okay? Because it's funny, most of us are guilty of this. We would spend more money on our cars to get it fixed than spend money on this. You know, if you don't take care of this, you cannot worry about your car because dead men don't drive cars. At least I haven't seen it recently, you know. But it's that bandwagon thing. Get off that. You know, you ask yourself, what is good for me personally? Is all this stuff that I'm doing and I'm saying, because this video was spawned from the one I did earlier about please stop that bro nonsense. Because I'm like, I don't want to be addressed as bro. I want to be addressed as sir, because I'm going to address you as sir. Because it's funny, the guy across the street from me, real nice guy. I think he's no more than 10 years older than me. And I just realized, I'm like, you know what he addressed me as when he see me? Good morning, young man. And that's nice to hear, you know, but I'm like, he's from my generation, even though he's not from my generation, where we address each other with a high level of respect. None of this ghetto slang and calling you bro and all that other stuff. It's like, sir, ma'am, young man, young lady, miss, you know. But I'm going to just, because I wrote a few of this stuff down, hope my camera don't shut off. I'm going to tell you one show that I despise, The Maury Show. And most of you guys are familiar with The Maury Show. And some of you might ask, why are you tripping on Maury? It's one of many shows now that just exploit ignorant people. And when I mean ignorant, I mean just lack of knowledge. That's nothing negative against them. They just did not further education, or they had somebody in the household to steer them in the right way to get and absorb knowledge, because knowledge is king. And they go get these people, because I originally thought that they paid these people to come on that show. Somebody said, no, they don't pay them. They pay their room and board and they flight to get their dump tails there, and then they exploit them and send them home. They don't even get nothing. They don't get paid. They don't get any proceeds from the marketing of the show. They get nothing other than plastered on TV for the whole world to see that they're idiots. And it's like, it makes me mad when people that have sense take advantage of the people that don't have sense. And that's a perfect example. You know, you look on this show, 90% of the black women, and I'm not picking on the black women, but 90% of the black women are wearing another race of woman's hair. Now, how many women outside the black race are wearing our women's hair? You know, it don't even look good. They didn't even do a good job with putting it on their head, you know? But that tends to be the trend now. Don't anybody take time to do their own natural hair, whether it's on your shoulders or just up there and you comb it, or you curl it or whatever and style it. Instead, you slap a wig on your head, you know, because you're too lazy to take pride and effort to taking care of what has naturally grown out of your scalp, you know. I hate that show. You know, I really hate that show. And the majority of that show is about, that's his baby. That ain't his baby. I'm saying to myself, wow. At one point in time, you guys were intimate. And you would like to think that came from because I care about this person and she cares about me. So how do you go from within a couple of months supposedly caring about each other and being physically intimate to I can't stand you, I told you this was your baby, or the guy, I told you that was my baby. And the people that really suffer from that are the kids. I can't imagine being a child with that messed up foundation. You know, nobody's perfect, but I'm like, thank God I came from an era where before I was born, my mother and my father were married. Then I showed up. And the both of them collectively raised me, because it takes two to raise a child the right way. Now, I know a lot of women going to argue with me. I'm a single parent and proud of it. And I do a good job. Just imagine how better of a job it would be done if daddy was in the picture too. Because there's some things that you can't teach your man, and there's some things that a man by himself can't teach his daughter. You know, you need both of them. But we on this new thing where we hate each other guts, and I'm going to try my best to get back at you, even though it's going to have a negative effect on our child. I thank God I'm not in that situation that I just popped out of a 17-year-old woman's girl, and I stress girl's womb, and then she gave me this jacked up name that's going to alienate me from the society that I live in, because I live in the USA, baby. I don't live in Africa, so why do I need an African name? You know, these people probably never left their state, let alone the country, to visit the motherland. But why they do it? Because everybody else is doing it. And why is everybody else is doing it? Because everybody else is doing it. You know, no rhyme or reason other than that. You're going to follow an idiot into the fire. And that's exactly what you're doing. You know, this is not a video of an older guy ranting. It's a video of a man that sees how things used to be. And I know nothing stays the same, but you know what things that should stay the same? Love, honesty, integrity, respect, compassion. Those things should never go out of style, okay? Well, we don't do that no more. It's ridiculous, because we should do that until we die. And then our offsprings do it till they die. You know, but it's just messed up. Yeah, I wrote down here with some points I wanted to make, but I just wanted to say that, you know, I don't claim to have all the answers, you know, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And get off the bandwagon. Ask yourself, take a step back, take a deep breath and say, does this benefit me? Does this make me look like a respectable young man that I'm addressing a 60-year-old man by calling him bro? What's up, bro? You say that for your friends, not the older people, not your seniors or your elders, your teachers. You know, and again, it all falls back on parenting, because my mother would have slapped the taste out of my mouth if I would have addressed an adult man by not addressed him by saying anything other than sir, or if it's a woman, ma'am. You know, that's a grown man. Respect him. You know, sir, this ain't hey guy or whatever. You know, and we got to get back to that. You know, we have to get back to that. It's still of what we have as a family structure that's just deteriorating. Because I'm going to say this and then I'm going to sign off. Because I'm not picking on nobody, you know, because one might say, you picking on the women when you make some of them statements. No, I don't, because guess what? The men put them in that situation. So the men are more guilty than the women. So I want to stress that, because this ain't about me bashing women or bashing men. I'm bashing everybody, because everybody deserves to be bashed and wake up. You know, unfortunately, and I'm a statistics freak. I know where to go to get statistics when I need to know, instead of me assuming or guessing or lying, you know. But statistics show that 75% of the kids that are black kids that are raised in this country, they are raised outside of a marriage, meaning that when they were born, their mother and daddy weren't married. Half of them weren't even living together in the same house anymore. Because, I mean, you know, okay, do what you got to do to raise your kids. You're living together, but you're not married. That's your business. For some, you know, reason or another, you decided you don't want to go that route. That's fine. But just be in the same household with your children. It's totally different when you got married, gave it your best shot, it didn't work, and you're forced to separate from each other, but you still go get your kids on the weekend or whatever. You know, I'm sure you fought tooth and nail before it got to that stage, because I'm sure you want to keep your family together, but sometimes things are not meant to be, and sometimes we make mistakes in choosing mates and legally giving them your last name. But be very mindful of that, because that affects the children when they grow up 16, 17 years old. Daddy is not in the house. Some relationships, daddy ain't even in the picture no more. And there's some people out of spite push daddy out the picture because they mad at daddy. Your daddy screwed me over, so now you're going to screw your child over by denying him the right to be with his son or with his father, you know? That's all I got to say. I mean, I hope that some of you young folks say, man, Morris, man, it's like you went into my future and you told me what was going to happen, and now I have the power to change that. You know, I'm 17 years old. I got to be careful. I'm not trying to get nobody pregnant, even though I'm in love with this girl, I think I am. My mindset right now is going to college, getting a degree, and going to get a good job. You know, that's the route you should be thinking about and what you're trying to do. And still, I'm 17, and I'm out here cutting grass. I'm barely in school. My girlfriend pregnant. Because I'm going to say this and then I'm going to sign off because this is interesting. And it's just what it is. No, it's not my opinion one way or the other. And it's not that the world is centered around how Morris Man life unfolded. But I think I got married when I was like 22 years old. At 22 years old, I was married. I was in school, trying to finish off my education. I had a full-time job working for the government, doing music, and then I had a part-time job working at a market research company, and my daughter was 6 months away from being born. The majority of guys that I know out here, 19, 20, 21 years old, and I give you a good example, my friend Romy that I told you about how he was coming over here, I helping him, I pay him cut the grass, and he coming over just trying to get money out of me, and I'm trying to help him. He don't want to listen. Romy was 20, 21. Now I'm saying to myself, at 21, I was doing this, and Romy at 21 don't even have a job, living with his grandmother because his mother and father weren't blank, and they didn't want to take care of him, so they pawned him off on their mother, or their father. And I was like, man, what a difference from generation to generation. Things are supposed to get better. A 22-year-old right now should be doing more than I did when I was 22. Instead of, you still back at home. You ain't left yet. And there's nothing wrong with that because no two people will leave and take off from their foundation the same. No two people. So I'm not saying just because I was 21, you should be doing this. But I'm like, it's just interesting how the generation now is like a step backwards. Not all. There's some that when they got 19 or 20, they didn't want to be at home no more, and they went off and doing their thing. More power to them. But I'm just going to say this, and then I'm going to sign off because I've been talking quite a long time. Go to school. Please go to school. Don't be out here 20, 30 years old with no academia or academical credentials. It's hard. When I left corporate America, and also I worked for the Federal Reserve System, the government's bank, you could not wash dishes there if you didn't have a high school education. And that's when I first started that career before I retired. That was like 25 years ago. When I got there 25 years ago, you couldn't even wash dishes if you didn't have a high school diploma. Think about that. Education for most of us are the key. People respect you when you get your credentials. They can't deny you unless they want to go to court and lose in a lawsuit, so they accept you. So young folks, get your education. Because there was a saying that we used to have when we were growing up. Work hard now so you can play later. It's still a play now, and then the second half of your life, you're going to pay, and not pay in a good way. You bust your tail when you're young, get that schooling out of the way, and then you get that job, making a good living. People respect you. They don't think you're an idiot because you went through the same educational system as your counterparts. Then you can play. You can buy the sports cars, and you could be the player if you want to do that, or, start a family, raise kids, and send them through the same process that you went through to make sure that they're going to be okay. Because it's just getting worse. And you can head that off by doing what you need to do now so you'd be sitting good later. I'm retired now. I don't have to work anymore. The guy across the street from me, nice gentleman, he's at least 15 years older than me. And he can barely walk now. He's limping. He still goes to work. Not because he loves his job. He has to go. He can't afford not to, And everybody, unfortunately, can become equipped in the early years of their life to be able to do those things as far as, okay, I don't have to do this anymore. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life before I get real old and get real sick and die, But that's just something to think about. If you're sitting here watching this video and you're 20 years old, 18, 19, you got a wonderful life ahead of you if you decide to take that path. Go to school. Stay away from the weed and the drugs and the people that don't give a blank about life and they want to take you down because misery loves company. I know a guy, And as I think about it, I'm like, wow, all this time, this is what was going on. He's talking about weed and, I know you got health issues and maybe that can help you. I'm like, why are you always trying to advocate weed? Because he's a weed head. And weed heads and drug heads and cocaine heads love company. And it was just basically he wanted me to be a part of that world with him. Like, dude, I'm not putting nothing in this body that shouldn't be there. Okay? End of story. So you can talk all day long about, I got a weed card and I can get you some. I can get my own weed if I want weed. I don't want any weed. I don't want, again, nothing in this body that shouldn't be in here. And it would be a great world if everybody kind of thought like that. Instead of my friend doing it and he cool, so, or, all of these people are idiots, okay? Again, like I told you, I'm going to get some people that they're not going to like this video. But you got to do a self-evaluation. Why don't you like this video? Isn't what Morris man is saying makes sense and is true? So why do you want to dispute the truth? But some people don't because they've been brainwashed by the bandwagon. They done jumped on, don't know where they're going. Where we going? I don't know. Why did I get up here? I don't know. Be your own person and do the right thing. Till next time.